And welcome to the Horrible Job Experiences Podcast, Part 3, for the first time in what, 5 years, 6 years?
Something like
This is
that.
Ronmower, along with the Jman and the Bear.
What's
Yo,
that?
And I apologize if you hear a crying baby in the background. My neighbors across the hall. Geez, take your crying baby inside. Probably crying because the horrible job experiences I'm about to mention. Because, like I said, we've done one. The last one was in 2010, and I have some stories since then. And so we're going to do a little roundtable discussion here, starting with me, then J-Man and Bear can go next in whatever order. Um, so, yeah, man, I mean, the last time I talked about what, it might have been Chewy's, Push It, Push It. You remember that, J-Man?
Oh, of course.
And then J-Man talked about his epic Pizza Hut Nightmare $20 and pennies delivery.
Yes.
That was something. That was something to listen to. That's still awesome to listen to this day. And so, yeah, so I'm still in the restaurant business. Well, as of recently, I lost my job, and I will get to that a little later. But like I said, been since 2010 since we did a job podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to 2011, where around this time, around April 2011, that was where a lot of things changed in my life. I moved out of my apartment into the D house. At the same time, Chili's got rid of Busters. And so I was just staying at the Elite at the time. And for those of you listening outside of Waco or Texas or whatever, I'm sure you guys have heard of Chili's, but probably not heard the Elite. The Elite's like it's a local thing. And so that was the name of the restaurant. And yeah, in 2011, by the end of 2011, I needed a second job because the Elite only gave me part time. And so I needed a second job. And by the end of 2011, the Elite happened to have a new general manager. And so he came along and he happened to also manage the other job that I just recently lost, Johnny Carino's. And so the current GM that was on his way out the door at the Elite, he told the guy, hey, listen, that guy Ronnie wants a second job. Maybe you can talk to him if you need busters over there. So I went and he approached me and said, "Hey, I heard you need a second job." And I said, "Yeah, definitely." He said, "All right, just go in tomorrow morning and just show up at the orientation, and they'll get you set up." And I was like, "Okay." So it was kind of a surprise. One of the managers didn't really know expect three people, just two new people, and then I was the third one. It seemed like they still had me on file, so I did not have to refill out an application because by law, at least in Texas, if you turn an application somewhere, they have to keep it for at least 3 months because in case you file for unemployment, they want to keep a record to see if you were filing for jobs, and they have to have you on file for at least 3 months. So I just showed up and then attended orientation, and then I was in. So I was working for this GM for both jobs for about 5 months, and yeah, he's someone who pretty much was a slave driver, and I mean he had me do a lot of ridiculous things, but at least Carino's was a fresh thing for me, and so I decided to let go of the Elite, stay with Carino's instead of working for that guy for both jobs. I could just work for him at one job. So then, at first, the first 5 months is great, and then all of a sudden, I mean, after 5 months, my schedule changed because I left the Elite and I was now full time at Carino's. And once that happened, I started working more morning shifts. And there was another manager there too. They were both pretty much slave drivers, and but buses are pretty much overworked for minimum wage. And some of the stuff I had to do, I mean, I had to paint the parking lot, drill holes through metal lids for the pans and stuff, just so they could hang them up. I don't know if you guys have done that, but do you know how hard it is to drill through metal with a power tool? It's not exactly easy. It's pretty
Yes,
strenuous.
I do know. Yes.
And they had me and the server one morning um, install a HD TV in one of the private in the private party room. And sometimes we would eat breakfast before the shift, and like they would allow us to go across the street to this taco stand or a taco place and get some breakfast burritos. And right when I was about to bite into mine, the manager, not the GM, but the other one. Hey, Ronnie, can you go ahead and go in that room and help Trey set up the HD TV? It'll just take you 5 minutes. And I was like, okay. It took us like probably 45 minutes because we had to have the right drill bit and all this stuff, and it was heavy, and we had to get a ladder and put it up there. Like, really? What am I doing, man? Should a professional person install these TVs on the wall? I'm a busser. In my over 10 plus years of bussing tables, I've never had to paint, drill holes, or install TVs.
You got to
apply for? Do what?
You got to push it. Push it.
Yeah, push it. For those of you who don't know what that is, that was a joke from the last job podcast where this manager was trying to pep talk us and come on, guys, we're getting busy. Push it. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, I had to paint the parking lot, and what I mean by that is there's handicap spots. You know, the blue handicap spot on the ground, and then they had a to-go parking space they called curbside, and so they were getting faded. So they would have me go out there and with the roller, just like paint over it with the little covering where you put the overlay on there and then roll over it, so that you can get it fresh again and paint over it. And so I did that like maybe twice. And one time it was kind of windy and slightly raining in the morning, and the servers were having a server meeting inside the building, and one of them looked out the window and told the manager, "Y'all are wrong for doing this, man. This should not be his job. He's a busser." Well, and the manager that had me do it that morning, it wasn't him. He was a cool dude, but he was told by the GM to make sure I did it. And so I never really painted. I mean, I've painted before, but not really. If I did, it's probably when I was a little kid painting art projects or something. As far as like painting, I mean, what they had me do like an easy painting job, not like a professional painting job where I had to paint a building or a house or whatever. But still, like
some finger paint.
Right. And so I'm out there doing this, and it was a hassle. I got paint on my hands. I'm trying to wash it off. It was hard. And I went aside. I said, "Hey, man, do you have something I could get this paint off with, and paint thinner or something? I don't know." And so he goes, "Oh, all I have is this." And he threw me a freaking paint pad, and those have wires in it. So I had to scrub the paint off with that and sometimes cut myself a little bit because the wire's inside. And then I got paint in the sink, and I'm like, well, this ain't my fault. They should be having me do this. It was ridiculous. And so that, and again, drilling holes to metal lids just so they can hang them up. And I remember one day when I was drilling holes through the lids, they just got delivered. And so they had the barcode sticker still on them. And so right when I pretty much was almost done drilling holes through all of them, the GM says, "Oh, hey, make sure to take those stickers off. Take those barcode stickers off of all of them." And he walks off. And I was so mad. I was thinking, really, guys? Thanks for telling me this at the very beginning, so I knew to do it then, because I thought I was almost done with that crap. And so I don't really know if I even really did it. But I was probably like, I was pretending like I forgot. And then one day after I got through painting, I put the lid back on top of the can, and then put the paint bucket and the tools back in the tool shed. And so later on, he goes out there to move stuff around, and he accidentally knocks over the can of red paint, and it spills on the ground. And he came back in and goes, "Oh, Ronnie, oh, look, I cut my hand. I'm bleeding to death." Like trying to trick me, make me think he cut his hand open. And I knew he was lying. It looked fake. I was like, "Oh, really?" And he goes, "Yeah, dude." Huh?
It was faker than wrestler blood.
Yeah. And he goes, "Yeah, dude, you didn't shut the can of paint right." And I said, I closed the lid and I put it back in there. What else was I supposed to do?" "Oh, did you snap it shut with the handle of the hammer on each side?" I said, "No, dude, I don't know, man. I've never painted before. I don't know how to do any of this stuff. I'm not used to that." And he goes, "You never painted before?" I said, "No." And he puts his arm around me and he goes, "You've been deprived, my friend." And I'm just thinking, really? If Venom 22 told me, I would have punched him in the mouth. And to me, it didn't really offend me. It just made me think, you're an idiot. Like, really? I've been deprived because I never painted. Oh my, I've already missed out on life. Like, it was so stupid. And one of the other managers that worked there, he was really cool. We kind of developed this running joke where because the GM would always say stuff like, "It's easy. Oh, come on, guys. If we do this, if we get this done on time, we can get everything done, in the right order. It's easy." And so that combined with the "you never painted before" became an inside running joke. Even to this day, among me and some of my friends and coworkers, we always be like they'll go, "Hey, Ronnie, you never landed on the moon before? It's easy." Well, you never climbed a mountain before? Man, it's easy. And just a bunch of variations of the joke. So if anything good came out of that, it was making fun of him for that. And even the air director, I probably somewhat didn't like him because I remember one morning when I did leave the Elite for good, or at least for that time being, and went over to the Carinos full time. He goes, "Hey, so you look familiar. You ever seen me before?" I said, "Yes, sir. I was working at the Elite. Now I'm just over here." "Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you're over here full time. I know the whole the guy's name, the GM's name was Trevor. He goes, "I know the whole Trevor thing sucks, but I'm glad you're over here." And I was like, "Well, thank you." And then after Trevor eventually left, me and the other manager, Ian, was a really cool guy. We were making fun of him, doing the more it's easy ho ho jokes. And then the district manager, John, walks up to me and says, "Hey, are you making fun of Trevor behind his back?" I said, "Yeah." And he says, "Good," and walks off. So he knew how Trevor was. And yeah, I mean, the stuff they had me do, I could have probably went to OSHA for that. I mean, it was ridiculous. And so I was actually thinking about going back to the Elite because at least over there I was getting paid more money. And Carino's, it was like all this work, more work for less pay. And so, but one day when I was trying to work something out with him on that, he comes in one night to do inventory. He was not the manager on duty. He comes in to do inventory. And I made a simple error because at the time we had soups of the day. Before they downgraded to just 3 soups, we had like 5 soups back then. And one of the buster closing duties, among many other ridiculous things, was to ice bath the soups at the end of the night, which really should be a cook's job. But it was Wednesday night. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is the new soups of the day. And I ice bathed the wrong soup. I did something wrong, something like that, to the best of my memory. We haven't done that since really 2012, 2013, before we had just downgraded to 3 soups. And so, because Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday was different soups of the day, and then Thursday through Sunday. And I forgot what day it was when I was closing. And one of the other managers, Jeff, who's another cool manager, he said, he kind of looks like Seamus, by the way. He said, "Hey, oh, don't forget, tomorrow's Thursday, Ronnie." I was like, "Oh, dang, I forgot." But Jeff wasn't that mad about it. But as Jeff said that, Trevor turned the corner and heard what was said. And he makes a big deal of it. "Oh, man, did you back up the wrong soups, man?" I said, "Oh, sorry, man. I forgot what night it was. I didn't think about what day it was. My mistake." "You didn't think about what day it was?" And I said, "Well, Trevor, I don't get paid enough to do this anyway." And I walked away from him. And he kept on following me. He goes, "What'd you say?" And I was like, "Nothing." I'm trying to blow it off, like, leave me alone. But he was persistent. He goes, "Do you have a minute to talk?" I said, "Yeah." I go, "Here we go. We're going to have a long talk. Bring it on, because I'm tired of this guy. If I get fired, bring it. I don't care." At that point, I was at my breaking point. So we go in the dry storage room, and we start shoving each other. I'm just kidding. No, it didn't get ugly. But we start just what's it called? Clearing the air. And I'm not kidding. 45 minutes. It was so long that the closing manager had to get one of the cooks to do my closing duties for me because I was getting so behind because we were talking so long.
Oh yeah, free pay.
Yeah. And so he we walk in there and he goes, "Well, I see that you were frustrated working here." I'm like, "Yeah, man, you having us do all this work for little pay, paint parking lots for crying out loud. Come on, dude, really?" And he goes, "Well, we're in a recession, and it's cheaper to pay you for a minimum wage hourly than to hire a professional painter to come out and do it." And he said a bunch of stupid things. I just stood there. He does this thing where he gets in your face, like too close to your face, and like we're supposed to back up and be scared. I just kept on staring at him and looking at him, and I wanted to call him a freaking idiot, but I let him say everything he had to say, and then I said what I had to say, and I tell him why I thought it was stupid. And he gives me this long lecture about the economy and the recession and why we only have so and so many workers in the corporate office now because we're in a recession, all this BS. And then he told me, I want someone that's going to keep bitching and complaining a lot working here. And I thought that was his way of showing me the door. And I was like, fine, I'm out of here. Bye, Felicia. But it didn't even get to that point. And I was telling him, dude, a lot of people respect me here. And there was a time I really liked working here. Now you guys are just putting all this extra work on us. And I'm like, come on, man, I'm a buster. I didn't sign up to paint, install TVs, and do all this other ridiculous stuff. And he goes, well, you're right, Ronnie. We don't want to lose you. We do like having you work here. And then he starts giving me the pep talk by giving me analogies because he knows I'm a Christian. Well, why don't you try to move up, make more money? I forgot exactly what he said, but he brought God into it. Like, not really like sarcastically in a smart ass way, but like,
what would
huh?
What would Jesus do?
No, he says something like, well, even God had to have another plan because, when the Garden of Eden happened and he had to make another plan and have Jesus come to earth. So if things don't work out for you, Ronnie, just keep on trying again. Then he gives me another analogy. You like video games. What happens when you get game over? You try again. You get extra life. You continuing. Yeah, I should have said he wouldn't have had no clue what I was talking about. But I saw where he was coming from. He kind of gave me a respectful pep talk, and because I thought it was gonna end bad. Like, well, get out of here if you don't like it. And I would have said fine, bye, and then probably would have cussed each other out or something. But it actually ended peacefully. No yelling was done. After that, we kind of cool. We shook hands, but before long he left. He got into some trouble with some other server. From what I was told by that server, Trevor and him got to a shoving match. Someone called corporate who witnessed it. And then Trevor's punishment, quote unquote, was to get transferred to the elite. Not get fired, just transferred to the elite. I guess that's more punishment than being fired. So he got transferred to the elite, and he was gone from Carino's. Him and the other manager to be fair, they treated me good in terms of they had respect for me, my work ethic and stuff, but they were hard to work for because they were such slave drivers and they were so anal in a lot of ridiculous things. And Trevor had a frat boy attitude, and pretty much hire. Now I was told this by women that he worked with there. He would not only hire women, but he's not even discreet about it. Like, he would kind of look at a girl up and down. Oh yeah, well, you want a job here? You got it. And like, it just perverted. And so, but he got in around summer 2012. He gets transferred to the elite because at that point I was getting ready to quit. Because I was so fed up with things. Then I guess I calmed down a little bit when Trevor, we kind of shook hands in the end of our long conversation, gave me a pep talk and all that stuff. And but he eventually left anyway. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll definitely stick around since both of those managers are leaving. Yeah, I'll definitely stick around now, and hopefully things get better. And so they did for a little bit, and the next GM I definitely liked a lot better. But he's the one that had the buster start portioning chicken. And I know how you feel about that, Jman. Portioning chicken. Busters. Portioning chicken. Like, really? That's a prep cook's job. And that's kind of insanitary if you think about it. You tell me your thoughts about that, Jman. Hello.
Sounds like Jman's dead.
Oh, jeez. What, he dropped from the call? He said he's still on the call.
He might have put it on mute to turn his fan back on.
Jeez. All right. Well, anyway, yeah. But basically, it's kind of, if you think about it, it's kind of unsanitary. Why have a buster prep food? Isn't that what the prep cook is for? So that's just one of the ridiculous ways the corporate or whoever wanted to save money up there. So portioning chicken, we had to do that. And since Trevor had cut back my hours, because when I got full-time hours, he had asked me, oh, yeah, well, how do you like these full-time hours? And I said, well, yeah, I like the hours I'm getting. I really don't like the morning shifts because they're kind of boring, and I'm doing all these ridiculous projects, but I'm still thankful for the hours. And he never really said much to me after that. He just cut back my hours because I said that. Like, really, dude? I was being honest with you, not being disrespectful. You asked for an honest answer. I gave you an honest question. I mean, dang it. I said it backwards. And so, so he cuts down my hours and I get part-time. And I'm like, okay, I need a second job. So there's a restaurant here, and I think it's all over U.S. too. It's called BJ's Restaurant and Brewery. So I go there, and at first it seemed great. No portioning BS. I don't have to portion anything. So I definitely liked it at first, and I was actually thinking about leaving Carino's altogether and staying with BJ's. But then I started getting more and more frustrated with how they did things at BJ's. They would have us bus tables with a small drink tray instead of a bus tub like it's supposed to be. It just makes things harder. They should allow bussers to work in a way that's more efficient for them. Some bussers are good at using trays or whatever, but man, I'm better off just using my hands or a bus tub. And I can get tables turned faster to get more guests seated quicker to where the restaurant can make more money. So I was like, this is ridiculous. And then they kind of get mad at us. So what's taking so long cleaning tables? You haven't just used these small drink trays that are supposed to be used by servers to run drinks. Duh. Come on. And plus, the tip share system was very shady. It was very, very shady. Like, usually most restaurants, the managers would divide the tip share from the servers, and they put it in the envelope with your name on it, and you collect it the next day. They keep the money in the safe. Or other jobs, like Carino's, would put your tip share on your paycheck for tax purposes. BJ's would have bussers collect the tip share from the servers and divide it among themselves, do the math. How many hours did this busser work? How many hours did that busser work? Do the math to divide it among each other. Now that's bad because one busser could quit, and like I say, I get first cut. I go home first for the night. The closing busser stays, collects tip out for all of us, or for me, and so he does the math, he divides it and all that stuff. He keeps it with him. And there were times where I couldn't get my money when I needed it because, oh, well, I can't give you a tip share today, man. I left it at home all the way in China Springs, which is about 30, 40 minutes away from where I live. Oh, man, well, I had football practice. I couldn't give it to you. So I can't get my money when I want it because the busser can't give it to me at the moment. Or they could do the math and skim off the top, and I probably wouldn't know about it. Or, and this has happened, the closing busser would collect all the tip out and quit with the other busser's money as well and never be seen or heard from again, and no contingency plan is in place to get reimbursed. That is BS. You should not trust the tip share system with fellow employees. Managers should take care of that. Now, the way Smoky Bones did it back then, we got paid $6 an hour, and the tip share was not required by servers. But when they did tip us out, me and the busser that's still there would sit down and divide it in half among each other. And boom, there you go. So that was pretty secure. But the way BJ's did it was stupid, and here's why that policy was implemented. Because years ago at another BJ store, a manager was caught stealing tip out. So he got fired. And I guess corporate or someone said, all right, from now on, let's just let the bussers handle it among themselves. Let's not touch it anymore. Let the bussers handle it among themselves. How is that any better than a manager handling it? That's worse. That's backwards. That's going backwards. Made absolutely no sense and was absolutely stupid. And so, for those reasons, and Carino's, and here's what really broke the straw on the camel's back. One day, it was close to Black Friday. Now, the schedule was posted 1 week in advance, and I was off. I was scheduled off for Black Friday. And on Thanksgiving Eve, I was working, and I asked someone, hey, I know what happened. I was actually scheduled to work Black Friday morning, but I asked a busser 2 days in advance to pick up for me. He agreed to do it, and he picked it up on hot schedules. It just needed to be approved by a manager. So now I can understand why it didn't get approved that night or overnight the next day, because it was Thanksgiving and we were closed, and managers don't really feel like getting on hot schedules and approving shift changes and all that stuff. That's fine. But I didn't think it would be a problem Friday morning or whatever, or if you would just go in and pick up for me, because technically you're not supposed to do that. It needs to be approved by the manager first. And so I thought, well, in the morning they'll approve it, no big deal. I get a text from the busser saying, hey, they're not going to let me work. I'm like, what? I called up there. I talked to the GM. And he decides, because he made a last-minute change that morning, a last-minute change, where he decides, oh, wait, I need 3 busters for Black Friday morning because it's going to be busy. Okay, why didn't you think of that a week in advance when you had the schedule up? The schedule was up for 7 days, and then 7 days later at the last minute, he has all 3 of us come in. That's why he rejected that guy where the guy had to come in anyway. He wanted all 3 of us to come in. And so it was ridiculous. I'm like, and so I told him on the phone, I said, well, I assumed you would accept it. I didn't think there would be a problem. Well, never assume we accept it because I just now decided I need 3. And I was thinking, well, that's your dumbass fault. You should have thought about this when you had the schedule up, not change it the last minute. When the schedule is public, you should not change it. You should call and text someone to see if they can happen to come into work, because once that schedule goes live, employees might start to make plans. Oh, well, I'm off tomorrow. I'm going to go fishing. And let's say you get your fishing gear ready. You get ready to go out to the lake. Oh, wait, last minute change. You have to come in at 3. Wait a minute. I was off. What did you change it for? It was all a bunch of BS. So that's what broke the straw on the camel's back. I called my boss Ian at Carino's and I say, hey, as soon as you can get full-time hours to me, let me know. I've had it with BJ's. They call it BJ's because it blows, and I want to come back to Carino's full-time. As soon as that happens, let me know. And he goes, you're in luck because I do need someone full-time right now. I said, great. So I put in my 2 weeks at BJ's, and then I left. And so I did leave, and I eventually did go back in 2013. I gave it a second chance because I think at Carino's, I wasn't getting quite the full-time hours I was for a while. Somehow started dwindling down. And then I thought, well, these BJ's, it was I think less work and a little more pay. So I did go back. Things seemed so much better the second time at first because an old friend of mine who was my manager at Chili's and Smoky Bones, he was now there, and I was like, well, this is great. And so he gave me this pep talk about, Ronnie, I asked him to bring you back to help us with the place because even though this BJ's makes a lot of money, it's still one of the lowest ranking in the company as far as performance. And I know you're one of the people here that will definitely do his job and work hard and really help the place. So it was very great to be back at first. But then at about 2 or 3 months, I started to, probably like 3 or 4 weeks actually, I started to really feel the BS again. And I eventually quit again and stayed with Carino's once they give me full-time hours again. And so we now go to 2014. So we're at the end of 2013 here, or in the summer of 2013. And if you guys remember, I just mentioned earlier that I left the Elite in 2011 actually 2012 because I didn't want to work for that guy at both jobs. Well, that guy, by January 2014, the GM got fired. The restaurant was closed down, I think, twice that week temporarily because of health issues. They failed the health inspection like twice. And I think that was what broke the straw on the camel's back, and corporate said, you got to go. And so I coincidentally found that out. I just came in to eat one night at the Elite. So now I go in and I sit at the bar and I ask the bartender, hey, can you have so-and-so come out here? He's a dishwasher, friend of mine. So he comes out here and he sits down with me at the bar and he goes, say, Rod, you hear what happened? I said, no, what? Trevor got fired. I was like, what? Yeah, Trevor got fired. I was like, really? are you kidding me? Yeah, that's what those people over there are corporate. They're right now they're talking about this and that, and maybe getting a new GM coming here. I was like, wow, really? And I was like, yes, I can come back here now because he's gone. So finally, about 2 months later, I was able to finally get hired back on. And so it was great to be back there because things were much, much better when he had left. And then let's see here. So we go into 2015 where the new GM was actually a temporary GM. And so he leaves in February 2015. And man, as soon as he left, that was pretty much the final nail in the coffin. Because that was February 2015, and the whole year was pretty bad. It did get better toward the end, but it was still bad. So we had a new GM, and I mean the elite seems like a revolving door when it comes with general managers. I mean, geez, and Carino's was that way too. And so it was. So he comes back. Oh no, he comes back. I'm sorry. Yeah, the guy's name was Jim. A new GM comes in. He has an impressive resume, and so they hire him on. Man, it was a nightmare. In some ways, he was worse than Trevor. Definitely as far as treating people. I never had a problem with him personally because he would not get onto busters about anything. He would get onto cooks, servers, managers. I think that's it. Cooks, servers, and managers is where he was focused on. He wasn't focused on the hostess, dishwasher, or bussers. And so we were the lucky ones. But he would just talk so bad to people in such a bad way. And one cook just went to the restroom for a minute. And so the GM thought he was slacking. And so he shuts the restaurant down, saying, all right, guys, shut it down. He don't want to work. He wants to be in the restroom. Shut it down. Just shut it down now. And we're thinking, what? It's like Sunday afternoon, 2 or 3. We're starting to slow down anyway. But, we usually don't close till 9. And he wants to close at like 3 o'clock. And then the cook's like, what are you talking about, man? I just went to the restroom, man. No, you want to work. Shut it down. So the cook just goes to the restroom. And the GM just freaks out and closes the restaurant. Like, this guy was crazy. Even the air directors were calling him, I think, crazy, because after he got fired, he goes, we apologize, crazy GM is gone. This GM only lasted 2 months. But the way he was just handling things and talking down on people. I mean, there was one time where he told this one cook, what are you, an effing idiot? And the cook goes, man, who are you calling an effing idiot? Like, to where it looks like he's about to fight him. I mean, it got bad. And so, but I think what got him fired was he just, sexual harassment. Yeah, I think he touched another guy inappropriately or something. So that was what got him fired. And so, yeah, he was finally out the door after 2 long months. It was a long 2 months. He was out the door. Then we had a meeting, and then the air director, we were ready to have an air director, and then this, I guess, corporate decided, hey, let's have someone actually oversee this restaurant, and let's get a new GM. And so during the meeting, he's like, I apologize, crazy Jim is gone. I think I forgot to say, like, F that guy or whatever, and then we all started cheering and clapping. And so they promote one of the regular managers in the restaurant to GM, and the key employee gets promoted to regular manager. And so things got better, but they still sucked. I was forced to have host shifts, and I did not apply to be a host. I applied to bus, and because they were so cheap and wanted to save money. Granted, the restaurant was hemorrhaging money. It was hemorrhaging money for a long, long time. And so they were so desperate in saving money. And, yeah, I mean, so they forced me to, like, host and sometimes wash dishes, but at least sometimes they would buy me a meal, take care of it as a thank you. But the GM they promoted, that was already a regular manager in there, I didn't really like her that much as GM because she would, like, get mad over stupid things, and that really wasn't our fault. Like, I'm not responsible for answering the phone all the time or hosting. This is not what I signed up for. And so finally, 1 year after like I said, the final nail in the coffin was February 15. Well, February 2016, the place closed down. And that was not a shocker, except we didn't think it would be that soon. We thought they would give at least a year or two to turn around. If not, they'll shut it down. Well, 8 months after the new administration took over, or new management, whatever, new air director, new manager, they shut it down. Now, the guy warned us, the air director warned us, saying, if this is a final ditch effort, if this place is not turned around, they're going to just shut it down. They don't care. They got money. So that's exactly what they did. They shut it down. And so February 2016 was the end of the Elite Cafe. It's still sitting there right now. New owners have taken over, but it's still sitting there until they figure out for sure what to do. It may open in early 2017 as a restaurant or something else. But so that was one job I lost. And so, but I was still at Carino's because I had gone back. I did leave Carino's like New Year's Eve 2014. I came back 7 months later, right on time when they reopened again because there was an accident. I don't know if I know I told Jman about this. There was an accident where a car ran through the building. A car ran through the side of the building. And yeah, so it was closed for 2 months because of that. This elderly woman thought it was the brakes. It wasn't. She ran through the dry storage room, and they had to shut down for 2 months. So I got hired back on right when the building was reopening and they got everything repaired and all that stuff. So yeah, and so I stayed in like February. I mean, no, wait, see, 2015, August 2015. I came back to Carino's, and it was great to be back at first. And then like after a few months into it, I wasn't feeling it anymore. But I mean, it wasn't that bad of a place to work because I loved the GM and the other manager that was there at the time, and it was better than the Elite was. I'll tell you that, better shape than the Elite. So in February 2016, when the Elite shut down, I still had Carino's to fall back on. They took care of me and gave me more hours. But now I think corporate or whoever decided let's give the busters more duties. Let's have them prep the oil now and the oil for the bread. Like you guys know what I'm talking about. Like if you've ever been in an Italian restaurant, like there's
like the balsamic reduction kind of thing.
Yeah. So now busters had to prepare that. And like, really? Prep cooks did that. So it seemed like slowly and slowly over the years they would add more and more and more to our list of duties that the prep cooks should be doing. So we were pretty much overworked for minimum wage. Now we got paid starting out $4 an hour plus tip share, but that averages up to minimum wage in Texas, which is $7.25. We did too much work for minimum wage. It was ridiculous. Now, a few months ago, or maybe a month ago, this guy, one of the managers named Kyle, he left right on time. He got an offer from a new restaurant that's about to open up soon here in Waco, and they got offered more money. So he put in his 2 weeks, and he's, I think, in Kansas right now, training before they come to Waco and open the Waco store. And so by this time, Carino's is getting bad. We have a new air director who I didn't have a problem with personally. I didn't really get to talk to until the last day of my employment. But supposedly he's a real jerk to the GM. He was a jerk to a lot of people. But the old AD air director was gone to run other stores, another area. So yeah, a lot of changes are taking place, and it was absolutely ridiculous. And so, but Kyle leaves. One of the reasons why he was leaving, this lack of communication. He was tired of the place, and he got offered more money to go elsewhere, so he took it. And they were adding more prep duties to us. Like this past few weeks, we had this temporary manager come over, and she was having us prep. Now, in addition to portioning chicken, now remember, we got bus tables, check the restroom, and all that stuff for as our regular running duties. Now, in addition to also checking the soups to make sure the soups are refilled. Now we got a portion chicken, which can take a long time because it's in a big pan, and you got to portion 3 ounces per prep bag. 3 ounces per bag, and it's a big mountain of chicken. Ridiculous. And so portioning chicken, backing up 10 rackings of butter, which is not time consuming, but they keep adding more stuff to our duties. So it's taking us longer to get all the stuff done. Cut lemons were necessary. Have Parmesan blocks ready for the line. Prep oil. And there might have been I forgot what else. But one of the new duties that I did not even get to learn yet, but the other opening buster was doing was now we got prep sausage, prep chicken for the pizza area, prep seasoning, and prep something else. Like, really? We're getting paid $7.25 an hour for this stuff. Can we get a raise or something? But of course we didn't. And a lot of people were getting ready to, or were quitting or getting ready to quit. One person quit because she did not get her paycheck, and servers only get paid $2.13 an hour, plus because they get the tips. So they get paid in the state of Texas $2.13 for servers. Now she made high in credit card tips one pay period. So because of her high credit card tips, they did not pay her hourly pay that she earned. They call it breaking even. I call it breaking BS, because it doesn't matter how much tips you make. You should have still gotten the hourly paycheck, because servers don't just serve. They got side work and other things to do. The tips come from the guests that you take care of and do a good job for. The hourly pay comes from the other stuff that you had to do: side work, sweep your section, refill your sugar caddies, refill your salt and pepper, and all that stuff. I've never been a server, but I've been in the business 15 plus years. I've seen how it's done, and I know who's supposed to do what. And restaurants vary, but she should have gotten the hourly paycheck. And she asked the GM about it. The GM said, well, that's because you made high credit card tips. It happens. And we're like, no, it shouldn't happen. You should probably call corporate or somebody. But she just said, nah, I'm out of here. I'm not going to put up that's BS. I'm done. So she left. Another server left. Another server left. One of the busters put in his 2 weeks notice. I think cooks are leaving. And 2 more people left, but for personal reasons, but that didn't help us. People were dropping like flies. People were quitting left and right. And so, yeah, people were definitely quitting. And let's see, another thing. Also, like me personally, I was getting tired of people trying to bully us busters into doing their job and not using teamwork. Like, part of our job description is to put bread in the oven for the servers to use to put on the table, and then take it out of the oven when it's done and put it in the warmer. Okay. But remember, we also have prep duties in the morning, so we had to portion chicken. And I was in the back. It was slow in the front. They did not need a buster at that moment. I was portioning chicken, doing my job. And this one server, who's such a crybaby, young 18-year-old, overprivileged, pampered kid, complains about a lot of things. And he's just like, hey, Ronnie, is there bread in the oven? I'm like, dude, I don't know. You're right there. I don't know, dude. I'm trying to portion chicken. Like, isn't it your job? And he walks off. I said, no, not right now. It's not. And managers have backed me up on that too. At least the managers are backing me up on that stuff, because if it's not busy in the front of the house, servers can clean their own freaking tables, because they have us portioning a lot of stuff in the kitchen. If we're not needed out on the floor, they can get their own freaking tables. And so this kid, he'd get mad whenever he wanted everybody to do things for him. He just didn't want to work. He was so lazy, so pathetic. He would cry, and when he didn't get his way, it was ridiculous. I mean, not literally cry, but not cry and complain.
Was this Charlie Jr.?
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
Yes. No. So this kid, and I don't want to hear no excuses. Well, he's a kid. He's young. No, shut up. Not you guys, but whoever's disagreeing out there. He's a kid. You got to give – no. There's no excuse, because the buster that I worked with was a 17-year-old kid who worked his butt off, and he's a good guy, and he didn't complain and was much more mature than that 18-year-old server. So
yeah, we got pretty awesome. Just saying.
Yes, yeah. And now, granted, when I was 17, I was lazy and an idiot. So there are a lot of dumb, young and dumb people there, but that's still no excuse. Especially this kid, the buster, he comes from a hardworking family, and so he was raised right. The other kid wasn't. I don't know what his problem was. He needed a spanking.
Money.
And so, I get, yeah, money. And so I like, and one time one cook was like, "Hey, Roddy, you couldn't pour water into this well for the sauces?" I said, "No, we don't do that. What are you talking about?" Well, Zeke did it. Zeke's the buster I'm talking about, the hardworking guy. Well, Zeke did it. Oh, well, yeah, that's not his job though. Why you have him do that? Because he's a good guy. And this kitchen manager I didn't like. Well, he's a good guy. He did the pasta did that line, and he's a good guy. That's why he did it. I'm like, you probably bullied him or tricked him into doing it, making him think it's his job, or took advantage of his kindness because he does want to help people and go the extra mile. But just because he did it one time, and Zeke said he only did it one time, just because he did it one time doesn't mean it's our job from now on. And I said, if you guys want me to do more money, you better tell the company to pay me more. I mean, if you want me to do more work, you better tell the company to pay me more money. And one of the cooks goes, "Oh, actually, it's backwards. You're supposed to do more work, and then you get paid more money." No, you idiot. Now, outside of my job description, I mean, if you're just mad because I won't do your job for you. And, Jman, you've been in the restaurant business as a busser.
Yeah. And then some.
Yeah. You know that people can, or even not as a busser, people will try to take advantage of you or bully you and to make you think it's you're supposed to do this, or well, you need to do this, do that. Like that one time when you were a prep cook and some manager or someone was trying to get you to bust tables and that was not your job. Like you're not supposed to do that at all.
Yep.
Yeah. So like
I
screw
have
that.
coming up, by the way. That's upcoming.
Yeah. And so I got tired of dealing with that, and I didn't put up with it. Like I'm an OG, original or OB, an original busser. I'm 15 years. When I was younger, yeah, I fell for that. Okay, I'll do it. Oh, I guess I'm supposed to do this. Not now. Like you're not messing with a 17-year-old kid. You're messing with a 35-year-old guy who is pretty much fed up with the restaurant business and doesn't want to do it anymore, at least not full time. And I'm not, I'm not a pushover anymore. So that's not going to work with me. And so, and my buddy Sean, who's been a busser just as long as I have, he was getting pretty much fed up with things that were going on at Carino's too. Like we have a janitorial guy who does a great job. He he is supposed to be the one to do the major cleaning duties in the morning before we opened. Now, granted, when it's slow, I understand that the company does not want to pay us to stand around and just lean. You got time to lean, you got time to clean. I agree with that to a certain extent. Like, I understand they don't pay us to stand around, not do anything when it's slow. So put us to work. Have us do some miscellaneous cleaning, like clean the walls in one area. Maybe this one area needs to be swept, whatever. Something that don't take long. But they start to get real ridiculous and have dishwashers and busters, maybe some servers, which that's kind of actually illegal because Texas, if you get paid less than minimum wage in a restaurant, like if you're a server that gets paid $2.13, they can't really make you do strenuous cleaning duties because that's an hourly job, hourly pay job. So, but they had a dishwasher one Wednesday. We needed silverware ran through because we were low on silverware. They had the dishwasher take the freaking power washing machine inside and pressure wash the dish machine in the middle of a shift where it's starting to get busy and we need a silverware ASAP. And you know how that is when you got to take the whole machine apart, take off the conveyor belt, take off the curtain that's supposed to block the water from shooting out the end, and take this tool out, whatever that helps push the racks forward. And so he had to take all that apart, power wash for a while, then finally put it back together. It was slowing down productivity. That should have been done before we opened the restaurant. No, let's have the dishwasher do it in the middle of a shift. And my buddy Sean, the busser, he was pissed one Sunday night. I got a text from him. He goes, "Man, Carino's be tripping, man. Look what they're having me clean." And here's the picture of this dirty grill right here. This is what he had to clean. And during a regular shift, instead of having this done before we open, look how dirty and disgusting that is. Jman has seen this picture. And it's like, how did he get that? How was he allowed to get that dirty to begin with? Like, ugh. Like Jman said, he should throw that out. And so it was. So he had to clean that. That took a while. In addition to cleaning the entire kitchen walls, and then after that, help a cook bring that grill back in, and then help the cook clean the floor first and squeeze the floor, which is supposed to be a cook's job. In addition, Sean had to do all these other duties, and he has to be done by a certain time because normally it don't take him about 10:30 at night to get done on a sunny night. He has to be gone by 10:30 to be back home because his wife goes to work and they share the same car and they don't have a babysitter. So this is definitely pissing Sean off, and I felt bad for him. I was like, I'm sorry, man. I know how you feel. I've done that crap before too, and it was not a good place to work. So I told the general manager, Justin, who was really cool and a friend of mine, I said, I got to be honest with you. There's a new restaurant that's about to open up real soon. I'm getting ready to go there in about 2 months. And here's why I'm leaving. And he was perfectly understanding about it. And I'll tell you why in a minute why he was so understanding. He was cool with it. And so he said, just let us know when you're officially putting your notice. And, I wish you all the luck. And, you got to do what's best for yourself. So even though I seen it coming, I didn't really think it would happen. Johnny Carino's closes down this past Wednesday for good. They decided not to renew the lease. And it was a shocker because the Waco store, for almost 20 years, has made a lot of money. They closed other Carino stores too in the past and then recently because the company filed for bankruptcy for the second time in 3 years. That is bad. So Waco this time did not survive the closings during their bankruptcy. And a lot of people were shocked because it survived the bankruptcy before. Now it doesn't, and I've just seen it coming. I mean, because everything looks so familiar. They were making ridiculous budget cuts. Morale was down. People were quitting left and right. The GM goes on vacation. 9 days later, the very day the GM comes back from vacation, boom, we're closed. The same thing happened at the Elite. The same thing happened. And in the back of my mind, I had a feeling, but I didn't really assume because the Elite didn't really make money. Johnny Carino's made money. Last summer, when the accident happened and they were closed for 2 months, they were still in the green financially when they reopened. That's how good that business was as far as making money. Summertime is slower. They do cut back on labor anyway, but it was getting ridiculous this year. By the fall and spring, when Baylor students come back and football season is back and homecoming and prom and all that stuff during the spring and fall, we get real busy again, especially Monday nights, family half-price platters, Tuesday mornings, buy one, get one free, Wednesday nights, Wine Wednesday. I mean, specials pretty much almost every day. We were a successful restaurant. But toward the end, things just went downhill, and I had a feeling. I said, don't tell me. Well, part of me had mixed reactions because I was getting fed up and about to leave anyway. I still need a job, and I can't quit just yet. So Wednesday, I was at home. I was supposed to work Wednesday night. Sean gives me a text. He goes, well, it looks like I'm down to one job again. That's when it hit me. Coincidentally, this is the same guy who texted me on the morning when the Elite shut down. So he's a bearer of bad news. Thanks a lot, Sean, for listening. Next time, just don't tell me anything. No, we both worked at the Elite as well, and he told me, well, I guess you didn't hear the news yet. The Elite shut down. You need to log into hot schedules. That didn't really surprise me because the Elite never made money, pretty much. Carino's, though, is still a kind of a shocker. But before Sean even texted me that, I got a text from Hot Schedule saying your schedule has been modified. You are now coming in Thursday morning at 9 a.m. I was like, wait a minute, 9 a.m.? That's an odd end time. Usually the opening buster comes in at 9:30 a.m. So I check, and it says 9 o'clock Thursday morning meeting. Oh, so we have an impromptu meeting scheduled. Oh, geez, this should be interesting. This is probably about all the BS changes that's taking place. I'll tell you right now, if they say, if you don't like it, you can leave, I'm going to get up and walk out the door. And I messaged my friend Robin, who used to work at Carino's with us. She's now at BJ's. I said, well, we have an impromptu meeting that just got scheduled just now for tomorrow morning. This should be good. And she goes, I wonder if it's about you guys closing. Whoa. That's when it first hit me. Like, whoa, you might be right. Because all the signs were there. And she even said, I wonder if they're closing. Everybody's quitting. It's just not the same anymore. And then some other server before that said, well, Justin's acting weird. He's acting different. All these labor cuts. I feel like we're closing down. But I just never assumed it. But then when Robin brought it up, I said, whoa, I wouldn't be surprised because restaurants do shut down out of the blue, because a lot of places don't like to let employees know that they're shutting down because people could be stealing on the way out the door. And so then that's when, like an hour later, Sean texted me because he was there. He picked up my shift that night. Coincidentally, he worked for me that night. I was supposed to originally work. He picked up, the manager approved it, so Sean worked for me. I had off Wednesday night. That's when he texted me and said, well, I'm down to one job again. That right there was pretty much the confirmation. Oh, shoot. I know he's not talking about BJ's. And so, because he also works at BJ's. And so I said, what's going on? Don't tell me. He goes, yeah, Cassie said we're shutting down because of bankruptcy, blah, blah, blah. They were going to run through the night for one last shift tonight, but we're short-staffed. They just said, screw it, shut it down now. So Sean was just there at 5 o'clock to help get the restaurant cleaned up for the night. And then I came in, I talked to the manager, and Cassie said, yeah, we're closing down, but for those that stay the next 2 days, we'll pay you $10 an hour to help clean the restaurant and clear it out. I said, I'll be here. So I did that. I came in, trying to milk as much money as I can before I left because I'm going to need it. I'm going to have a job. So I come in and I take some pictures. They're on my Facebook. Did a quick video saying goodbye. And even though I was glad to be done, it was still a bittersweet moment because it was a job that I actually cared about at the time, had good memories of, met some great people, and now it's gone. I hate to see it go down the way it did. I personally left on a high note, but the restaurant didn't. It was sad the way it was not the same anymore. And so I posted the news on Facebook and posted a final picture. I got to take home a souvenir. One of the menus that was used back in 2003, 2005 that was picture framed as memorabilia in the restaurant. They let me take that home, so I have it in my closet right now before I get it reframed and hung up. That was cool. But yeah, it was I kind of had to fight back tears a little bit as I was walking out the door for the final time because I hate to see the restaurant in the shape it was in and it's all over, but it's a blessing in disguise because I had enough and I was wanting to get out anyway. So, so it is what it is. And after that, though, I sent a message to a lot of people, a lot of my coworkers that I liked on Hot Schedule saying, hey, let's try to hang out one last time. Let's go meet at Chili's tonight, talk about stuff, the good times, the bad times, whatever. And only 3 people showed up, but that was still a good turnout. One of those people was Justin, the general manager. And before we left the restaurant, he shook my hand and we hugged each other because it was our last time working together. And then I said, well, hey, man, this ain't the end. I still keep in contact and meet me at Chili's tonight, man. So him, the busser Zeke, and another cook named Sean, a different guy named Sean, we all hung out at Chili's, and it was fun, man. We were there for, probably about 3 or 4 hours. And we talked about a lot of things, good times and bad. And Justin was giving his account on his perspective of the restaurant. He did not know they were closing down. He comes back from a great 9-day vacation with his wife and 2 kids. And then when he gets to his truck on the night before he goes back to work, his phone is blown up with all these messages about the place closing. So he had no idea. And he comes in the next day, of course, not happy about it. But he told us that he was getting ready to go out the door anyway. because he was tired of how he's being treated by the new air director, the way things are going. He was on his way out the door eventually anyway before long. That's probably why he was very receptive of me about to quit, because he couldn't tell me at the time, but he's probably thinking, well, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all, Ronnie, because I'm getting ready to quit too. So, I mean, we hung out and talked about a lot of things, and he'll find another job. He'll have no problem finding another job with his manager experience and his positive attitude. I mean, he was really a light in that place, and he kept a positive attitude and tried to get people to not think negatively. And so, yeah, it's going to be sad not work for him anymore. He was one of the reasons why I tried to hang on and for as long as I did. And so, yeah, even though I'm glad I'm done with the place, I'm glad it's over with, because I was pretty much fed up and I was close to my breaking point. So, yeah, I mean, and he also said one woman called during the days that they were closed. Well, I heard y'all were closed down. I just bought a gift card from y'all. And he's like, well, ma'am, I'm sorry. I'm sure you call a corporate office and they will reimburse you. Okay, well, but still, that's stupid. Y'all shut down. That's stupid. Justin has no control over the restaurant shutting down. So he goes, well, ma'am, probably not as stupid as 30 or 40 other people losing their jobs. You think about that? And he hung up on her. Like, yeah, because, I mean, obviously that woman wants to complain about a gift card. I'm sure corporate reimburse you because they closed down. Sorry, it's not our fault. You need to talk to corporate for not doing a good job and having the company go bankrupt. So, and I mean, the same guy that owns Carino's, he once owned the Elite. I heard he's a great guy and a real nice guy, but as a business person, I just don't know, because the Elite shuts down after not really making any money. Now a bunch of Carino stores have shut down, and the company's gone bankrupt again. So, yeah, I mean that. Yeah, so it's sad, but it's time to move on. A new chapter. I'm glad I'm done with Carino's. And me and Jman joked about this, and one of the cooks at the meeting joked about it too. Like, Ronnie, everywhere you go, a restaurant shuts down. What are you doing? But at least it'll kind of look good on my resume and application, because it'll say the only reason why I'm leaving these places is because they shut down. It's not that I quit on them or whatever so soon. I stayed with them for a long time, and then they shut down. So, yeah, there you go. There's my crazy 5-year history. I mean, I, of course, have longer history than that, but dating since the last podcast we did on jobs. That's what's been going on the last 5 years. Those were horrible job experiences. And, man, there were some horrible times, but there are also a lot of great times during that era, during the five-year period. So right now I'm unemployed, but I'm actively hunting for a job. I only file for unemployment as a last resort. I'm going out there, and yeah, so hopefully pretty soon, at least hopefully sooner than September, but I'm most likely going to get that new job opening up in September, because one of my old bosses, Kyle, is over there, and I'm pretty sure he'll definitely get me in the door. But so right now I'm just chilling, unemployed. I mean, not really chilling. I'm going out there looking. But at least that chapter of my life is over. Time to move on. And, yeah, so there you go. That's kind of a long 5 years. And this podcast is about an hour long already. And those are my stories. Summed it up in 1 hour. But now we got Jman, who's probably got 5 hours worth of stories.
All right.
But yeah, there you go. That's my whole job experience the past 5 years. So, what do you say, J-Man?
Well, first of all, thank you, Ronnie, Mr. Company Killer.
Yeah.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction there.
I'm the Paul Heyman of restaurant business. Like, going, ECW went bankrupt, and now Carino's bankrupt.
Oh boy. Well, that's ECW. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So I only have 2 jobs this time. Since the 2010, I believe. I guess I actually smartened up and didn't work a bunch of jobs for once in my entire life. But the first one was for 1 day, and it actually wasn't for an entire day. It was only 4 hours. But it's a place called McAllister's Deli.
Yeah,
This
we have
place
those.
horrible. Never eat there. I'm telling anybody that's in Texas, that's right, or in the South, whatever, or wherever the hell else they're at, do not eat there. I came across this job on Indeed.com, which is actually kind of a shitty job site, I would like to say. I found a couple jobs there, but yeah, anyways, that's for another time. So, okay, anyways, I got in contact with the general manager, and he looked, this really isn't like part of the horrible part, but he looked almost just like Michael Keaton, which I thought was pretty cool. So it was like, oh, right on. And so this guy was like, I don't remember his name. It was like, I think it was Tim Burton. Yeah, okay, anyways. But like we had like a interview or whatever. There was a couple emails before that, but okay, anyways, I'll get to the interview. And it was for a driver position. So like, during their lunch schedule, they actually take out their subs and all that good stuff to businesses nearby and stuff. I'm saying stuff too much. But okay, in shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and supposedly it was explained to me that, I'll make a lot of money. And I do believe it was the $5.50 an hour, like kind of like the same wage as the busser thing. So this was actually during the emails and stuff like that. Okay, so I actually goes to the interview, and he says, well, okay, we kind of don't have that many deliveries. So what we're going to have you do is work in-house. Now the pay is $7.50, but when the deliveries come in, then of course we'll let you go out and do that, and you'll get good tips and stuff. Oh, okay, all right. I guess that's cool. Okay, all right. So shake hands. All right. So I go for my first day. Show up. Nobody greets me, of course, because this place is. I guess you could say it's like upgraded Steak and Shake, but okay, whatever. So I actually like just walk back behind the front line and go to the office area, and then of course there's Beetlejuice, and
Juice.
and he's like, "Oh hey, Jason, yeah, Jason, hey, welcome aboard." All right. Well, okay, we don't have a uniform for you yet, but we can go ahead and send you out and stuff. Here's our trainer. This didn't happen immediately, but okay, anyways. Here's our trainer. She's going to show you a little bit about the place and walk you through the dining room and like what we exactly do. You'll be a server, but you'll make $7.50. Oh, okay, all right. So in my mind, I'm like, well, fuck it, I'll get tips too. So this is why I say that it was like an upgraded Steak and Shake, is because you do everything. Of course, besides cook the food and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, like, service-wise, you do everything there. So you're a server, you're a busser, you're a dishwasher. I'm going to get to that. Everything. So she takes me out, and this is before it got busy. Just a little walk around stuff. All right, well, so what we do is we serve drinks. There's not the order taking because there's actually like a cash register and stuff like that. But we serve the drinks. Whenever people need more drinks, we go and get them for them. Wipe down the tables. We serve the food. We take the empty dishes. We put them back in dish. We wash them sometimes when we're not so busy. Wait, we wash them? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Wow,
all right.
jeez.
Is there like some gloves that I could put on? Well, no, we can't. We're not allowed to have gloves while we're serving food and drinks. Oh, okay. All right, fine. It's okay. So I did a couple tables and stuff like that. Fine, whatever. Had time to wash my hands and stuff like that in between, like washing out a couple dishes and stuff like that. Putting it through the dish sanitizer. because
Yeah.
it's actually not a dishwasher. You gotta, right. Okay, anyways. So things start to get busy. This is when it gets fucked. Because then it's like, all right, well, we got to get back out there. Well, wait a minute. I didn't have time to wash my hands. No, we got to get back out there. But I just put stuff in the dishwasher. Yeah, well, we got to, okay, all right. So I'm serving drinks, serving trays with dirty ass hands.
Oh boy.
Yes. Oh, it gets worse. And until like some of those earlier tables when we weren't so busy left. And so there was a few bucks here and there, and I was like, oh, sweet. So I go to grab the money, and she's like, what are you doing? Tips. Oh no, we actually we take our tips and we put it in this jar and it goes to charity. What?
What?
Oh yeah, we don't accept tips. What?
Wait a minute. What?
Yes.
So they go.
Hey,
I'm not against charity,
out.
but
Yes, hands dirty, $7.50 an hour. No tips.
wow.
Oh god, it gets even worse. Okay, so we're busy as fuck. I'm running all over the place. Not washing my hands. Like this goes on for like 2 hours because they have crazy business there.
Yeah.
Serving drinks, serving trays, wiping off tables with the same rag.
Oh.
Mind you, did not even have time to like wash it out and stuff. Tried that. No. We got to get going. Are you what? This is a true story. Like this is. I know this is not as crazy as like being paid, $30 at pennies, but still, this is, what? So, I was already fed up. Definitely with the damn tip thing, but it also, I mean, it just the unsanitariness, ridiculous.
Yeah. Now, how long were you there?
Like going to bus and then cutting chicken. It's like, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Now, how long did you work there?
4 hours.
Wow.
Four fucking hours. I swear that was the longest 4 hours of my life. But I'm not even done yet.
Wow.
Yet. Oh. So, going around, serving drinks. Yeah, no, I'm sounding like Donald Trump now, like I repeating myself, but whatever. Okay, so yeah, there's no time to do anything. So after the rag incident, I'll call it, they started having people sit down because we did not have enough time to wipe off tables. So people were sitting down at dirty tables. I'm not kidding.
Jeez.
I mean, they had one hell of a turnout there, but if these people knew, and by this time I was there for like 2.5 hours, if they knew, good God. Meanwhile, the whole time, fucking Multiplicity was sitting in the fucking sitting in the fucking office. He should have multiplied his fucking self and been out there trying to fucking help shit. But no, he's sitting in the office the entire fucking time. Every time I went back to not wash the rag and, put cups in the cup rack thing and stuff, and the dishes and in the dish trays and shit. All while not being able to wash my hands. This fucker's back here probably on Twitter or something.
Right.
Ooh. Remembering to put the tips in the in the fucking tip glass or whatever. It was like a box with like a little slot in the middle of it, enough to fit dollars in there. Yeah. I wish I would have pocketed that shit, honestly. I didn't. I guess I'm still kind of like reasonable, but whatever. So it was a horrible 4 hours. So the rush ended, and I had about 45 minutes to go, and they were like, okay, all right, go back and just run the dish machine, which I thought was very degrading, as I was proposed as a server. Like was already told to run a couple things through, and stuff. But at this point, then they wanted to like add sanitizer, the three sink system. Then they wanted to add like the sanitize and the the rinse and the wash system of three sinks. Then that was appropriate and cool and stuff. Then of course you get all the fucking dishes from the cook area. So it's like, man, fuck this shit. And I walked the fuck out.
Wow.
I didn't even tell him. I should have told him. I don't know. He was Batman. I couldn't talk shit to Batman, so.
Well, if he was Mr. Multiplicity, he should have been multitasking instead of sitting in the office like you were saying. But
I already made that joke. Come on.
well, no, I'm talking about. But since you said he was Multiplicity,
I'll make another joke. I went up to talk shit to him, and he was like, "I'm Batman."
yeah.
Couldn't do anything. But yeah, that was horrible. On top of that, they tried to charge me for the uniform that I never received.
Oh no.
I made $24 there. Oh. By the way, when I finally got the check from them, I tried to cash it, and it fucking bounced.
Oh man,
Yes.
nuh-uh.
Because they changed
Wow.
their corporate headquarters, so the address on the check itself was no longer valid.
Wow.
So I had to talk to my bank and get them to retract that charge. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but whatever. Yeah, but they took that charge off. It was like $20. No, it was $12, I believe. It was something like that. But yeah, anyways, they took the charge off, and then they did send me another check. I don't remember the name of the actual company that owns McAllister's. But yeah, they did send me another check, so I did get like that. I don't know. It was like probably $26. It was somewhere around there. Who cares? That was the worst money I ever made in my life.
Wow.
Here's
So even
trouble.
after you quit, you were still having problems with him.
Yes.
Wow.
This was after I was back to Indiana, so it was even more difficult.
Wow.
First of all, they said they sent the check, okay, which was a lie because it would have came here because I redirected my address.
Yeah.
Then they send the check, and then it bounces.
Wow.
Then I got to talk to my bank, talk to their corporate office, and then I get the check. And by the time it was like, shh.
So this is in 2012, 2013?
No, this was in 2015.
Oh, okay,
This
right
was
before
like-
you.
This was just a couple months before I moved back to Indiana.
Oh, okay. Yeah, geez. I know two girls that work in McAllister's here in Waco, and I think they've been there for a long, long time. So I guess the Waco store is pretty cool, but the Dallas or Arlington store, wherever you're at, I guess it was just, I guess different there. I don't know, but yeah, that's
It was
Huh?
out. I'm trying to remember the actual like little city it was in. I don't know. You guys have a lot of little cities down there. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we
I
do.
don't know about as south as Waco, but around like Arlington and Dallas, like there's just little cities there. Whatever.
Yeah.
It was
Like
around Irving, I think. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It
Yeah,
was
Irving, Arlington, Dallas, Grand Prairie, Fort Worth, whatever.
Yeah, it was quite a bit north of Grand Prairie, but whatever.
Yeah.
I actually lived in Grand Prairie at the time, but whatever.
Yeah.
Just poorly run. I did also forget to mention that. Well, okay, before we got busy, there was other servers there that actually worked cache as well. So they were like host, cache, and server. Yes.
Well,
Had told me, oh, yeah, I was a driver too.
yeah.
And we don't really go out on deliveries like ever, like maybe a couple a week. That was like the first bad sign. That was that I think that was actually before I learned the tip share.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Wow. Jeez, man.
What's enough about that one? I'm like actually kind of pissed off right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, fuck that place. And well, okay, I'm still cool with Michael Keaton, but fuck that.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck his name was, fucking
Joker.
the new Joker.
The new Joker.
Won't you
That,
join
that job is a
the
joke.
squad or something? Oh wait, yeah, no, that was a failed joke. All right,
Yeah.
so the other experience that I have is very, very recent. It actually just ended just a couple days ago. So back in early February, I joined through a temporary company at another company called Siemens. Now, originally it was called Siemens Healthcare. It was changed, I think, in like April or May to Siemens Healthineers.
I was waiting for Bear to say something.
Oh yeah. I mean, the name itself is ridiculous. But then Siemens Healthineers. That makes no sense at all. Like, it was one of the only times that I actually got along with the head supervisor guy was because he was making fun of the name. We'll get back to him in a few minutes. Believe me. Okay,
Chris Hansen.
so
I'll get to that in a minute.
great. Well, okay. Take a seat and listen. And I'm not talking to you, Ronnie. I'm talking to the. Oh wait, there's nobody listening. My bad.
The decoy.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so I started working there. It was actually early February, if I'm not mistaken. So at the start, it wasn't bad at all. There was one element that was, I guess I could say, distasteful, and that's the fact that a lot of the medical supplies that they sell. Okay. Let me start that over a little bit. A lot of the medical supplies that they distribute are in a cooler. So basically, most of the time that you work there, you're working a cooler.
Yeah.
Which is
Cool.
Celsius.
Yeah.
And could vary from, I guess, 28 degrees Fahrenheit to 31 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know. I've actually learned a little bit about the metric system, and also, I'm going to say this wrong, but centigrade. Yeah, I screwed that up. If Bear was here, he could correct me on it.
Yeah.
But okay.
I'm not going to correct anything.
Well, just tell me if I was right about centigrade. No, it's Celsius. Damn it. I didn't even need you, you worthless fuck. Okay. All right. So 8 degrees Celsius, whatever the fuck. Okay. Anyways. So it was fine to start. It was actually a refreshing change of pace from the job that I was working at before, which it was not horrible. It just didn't pay very damn well. So yeah. Anyways, not worth mentioning. So, but it was nice change of pace. Okay. Anyways, let's skip a couple months, shall we? All right, we shall. So I get to about April. Job opening comes up. Ah, cool. Why the hell not? Now, my experience under working for temp jobs is that you work for a certain company, you put in some good work, and then they just hire you on. Well, that's not the Siemens way. The Siemens way is that they, and as I've seen in the 5.5 months that I worked there, is that they generally hire people off the street. Now, I'm not talking about they just grab homeless people and throw them into fucking jobs. Of course not. But they would rather have people that have worked at other jobs that have absolutely no experience with Siemens itself over people that have worked there for, well, let's say 5.5 months. So I applied. Let's fast forward another 2 months. Let's get relevant. I go in for an interview. Yes, I'm interviewing for a job that I already work at. For a job, if I don't work on first shift, excuse me, don't work on first shift, we'll pay more. Had I chosen first shift, lateral, same pay. Now, of course, you know the vacation and the other benefits that I generally don't use. Well, okay, the vacation would have been awesome. There we go. So I am interviewed, and this is where the bullshit starts. I'm interviewed by my supervisor. Have you ever went to a job that you already work at and are already interviewed by somebody that you work for? Your direct supervisor.
It's a little different.
It's some bullshit. So in the interview, he's using information like, okay, everybody fucks up, right? I showed up late a couple times, no big deal. I don't generally elect to work overtime because there is so much overtime there, it's crazy. Mandatory overtime. That's unfair in an interview. Why are you going to bring up, oh, well, I kind of seen that you don't really volunteer for overtime. We work all the time.
Yeah.
You've heard about this, Ronnie. I told you, yeah, the last few months. Well, at least the last couple.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you available for this? Nah, man, I got to work late. Nah, man, I got to work late. Oh, man, I got to work this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, fuck, when you work, you know, when you work 2 out of 4 Saturdays every week, and you work 9 to 10 hours Monday through Friday, mandatory. Where's the voluntary?
Right.
So, okay, anyways, it was, but the real point behind that is that it was kind of biased, because remember again that hire people off the street, so they were interviewed as well. These are not questions that would have been asked to them. That bias would not have been placed there. You can't see whether somebody worked overtime in their resume or not.
Right.
So that was an unfair bias. I thought about going to the human resources director about that, but anyways, now the other thing was that they never officially informed me that I did not get the job. Okay. Which I thought was a little shady, but I can see the reason behind it. They didn't want to tell me because they didn't want me to quit, because actually the export department that I work in was a little thinned out. Actually, 3 people quit before I did, which I thought was actually pretty funny. But okay, well, let's get to the end.
Yeah.
A couple days before I quit, I get another job. And I hope it's a good job. I will tell you this at this point. Yeah, I know. Great. Good job, Jman. See, this is why I didn't get hired on. Is because I'm terrible. Yeah, okay. That's it. Right. Okay. Whatever. So I get a job at AEL Span. It's an extra 75 cents an hour. It's actually closer than that job, which is great. And the hours are way better. And right on. So, okay. That's not cutting to the end, because I'm going to go back a little bit. I'm going to take this bitch fucking Pulp Fiction. All right. So, here's the fucked up part. Instead of me being hired, my supervisor, Bill Kramer, that's his fucking name. I invite anybody that's listening to go terrorized his house or whatever. I don't know where he lives at, but yeah, whatever.
Oh, Master Hand.
What? Oh, wait, before you go, old man. This motherfucker, instead of hires me, hires his son! That's
Of
right.
course. Nepotism.
Favoritism.
Yeah.
Instead of me, his fucking son, that, I mean, doesn't need to work there anyways. I don't understand. Like, okay, he's, you know, like, this is not a supervisor of a restaurant. I guarantee this guy makes way more. He's probably in the close to 6 digits. Okay. I would work more towards getting my son, which is a failed son, by the way. I'm not going to go more into that because it's just that would be distasteful to me, and I'm not going to reduce myself to that level. But wouldn't you work harder to get your son a better fucking job?
Yeah.
That in itself was part of the horrible job experience. It's like, Jesus Christ, God, you're an idiot. So of course your son needs a job at fucking Siemens because you fucking suck yourself. Jesus.
Wow.
What a jackass. So okay, anyways, so yeah, when I left, I flipped him off. No, I didn't. I wish I would have, but I basically I left a day early. In that day early, I actually left early, and I didn't say see you tomorrow. I just said, oh hey, I'm gonna take off a little early tonight, and then I just left.
Yeah.
It was not a good job quitting story, but whatever. Doesn't matter.
Now, Cosmo
So-
Kramer. Or,
Oh no, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I thought it was Cosmo Kramer or whatever his name is that interviewed you, or what job was it that interviewed you where it felt like you're being interrogated instead?
That was Siemens.
Oh, so
That was Kramer. That was Kramer, and there was the first shift supervisor there as well, but he barely said anything. So,
oh, okay.
but
So that
yeah,
was the
like
interrogation part. Like, oh, I see you here. You didn't work overtime.
it was his interrogation,
Yeah.
and most of his questions related towards my work there already, and so my stance on that is these fuckers, or at least him, are interviewing people off the street that are coming in. Those questions aren't going to be asked. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
How are you going to ask other people, oh, well, I've noticed you've done this, you've done that? Because they haven't. So there was just hella bias there. And I really, really did not like that. And then, like I said earlier, I thought about going to the human relations, the HR manager, whatever her title is, chancellor of the H to the R, motherfucker, whatever the hell it was. But then again, it was like, what's the point? I'm just gonna go look for another job. Screw you guys. Sit there and I worked a lot. And by the way, there were a lot of times that I actually did volunteer for overtime on top of the mandatory overtime that was implemented. So yeah, I'm glad to be gone from there. I start my new job. It's not past midnight, but I start my new job tomorrow night, 10 p.m. I'm looking very, very forward to it.
And where's his new job at?
It's actually I'll be mowing your lawn.
Oh, okay.
Oh, snap.
Now I'm the Ronmower here. So no,
You're the riding mower, I thought.
yeah. the Ron Deere Ronmower. Yeah, so Siemens or Cosmo Kramer. Yeah, I'm glad you're done with that place.
Yep, Siemens. See a man. Yeah, okay, never mind.
Siemens, the video game that AVGM reviewed. I guess
I
not.
see. I see a possibility of a certain bear talking about jobs.
Yeah.
I don't
What do you say
wanna.
there?
I don't wanna.
How come on? Boo, boo.
Uh,
Yeah, boo me harder. I like it that way.
What do you
that's kind
want, Bear?
You're fired.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, well, okay, if we do have any viewers, I guess I'm gonna vacate the rest of them. Donald Trump, 2016, president, your next president of the United States. Boom!
Boy.
There's a wonderful job podcast. Legend, wait for it. Dairy.
Pussy.
Gary
Woo.
Johnson.
Wait. Bear, me or Trump?
No, legendary pussy.
Oh, okay. You could have also said me, and I would have been like, oh, okay.
How about a legendary horrible job experience, Bear?
He's not gonna do it.
Nope.
All right, Bill O'Reilly. I can't do it. I can't do it.
He's afraid of his former bosses.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
Raping me again, you know.
they'll track him down and
Rape.
yeah.
Bear, it's not rape if you're with it. Just man. You don't have to be afraid anymore.
Only
We're
with it halfway through.
well, okay, we're here with you as the social justice warriors that we are. I mean, I think that's what the ST2K represents is social justice warriors. It's a job, is it not? Yeah, okay, all right.
There was one horrible job experience I forgot to mention regarding the elite. A lot of times this happened where busters were responsible for setting up the big parties for the next day. Now, you've heard me rant about this, Jman. Busters are responsible for setting up the big parties in the private party rooms. And like the way they normally had it, they're supposed to have the closing buster set up the party for the next morning. Well, a lot of times the managers forget to look at the party sheet and have the closing buster do it. So then by the time the morning buster comes in, which would sometimes be me, I would come in at 10:30 and try to do my opening duties, and then I got to hurry up and scramble and get big parties ready. Sometimes it could be a party of 50 or more because they didn't get it done the night before. And that pissed me off because it was supposed to be done already, and that's going to put more work on me and put me behind. And so there's one manager that I always liked that worked there until one day he said the wrong thing to me, and it really made me lose respect for him. One morning, again, a big party was not set up in the big party room, and he goes, "Hey, Ronnie, we got to have a party of 20 or 30 set up in the waiting room. It didn't get set up last night." And I'm like, I told him, "Why wasn't it done last night?" Now I wasn't even blaming him. I was just like, "Well, why didn't they get it done last night?" And he goes, "I don't know. Just don't complain and do it, please." That comment right there really pissed me off. And I don't know if he heard me, but I said, "Well, I'm tired of this BS. Y'all don't get things done that's supposed to be done." And that right there is like, when they blow it off, and I don't know, just don't complain, just do it. Like, that right there is a sign that they don't want to accept responsibility for failure when they say, well, you're right, but don't complain, just do it. Like, at least say, "I don't know, Ronnie, I'm sorry, man. Can you please get it done for me?" Because there was one time where my buddy Sean had us set up a party of 70 at the last minute. And he told the closing buster the night before, oh, hey, there's a party of 70 that's going to be coming in, so don't forget to get that set up. Oh, okay.
Oh,
The,
that's fucked up.
the buster still doesn't do it. For whatever reason. He forgot.
That's fucked up to say at the end of right at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, well, I think like they knew ahead of time, but like Sean was busting that night with the guy, but Sean had to come back the next morning, and he wanted to make sure to get screwed over like we usually are with that stuff. So he said, "Oh, hey, don't forget, there is a big party of 70, so the closing buster will be responsible for setting it up." The buster didn't, so Sean comes in the next morning, and the manager's like, "Hey, Sean, we need to set up a party of 70 real quick." And Sean was pissed. He's like, "Man, why wasn't it done last night?" He goes, "Oh, I don't know, sorry." And I'd rather hear that though than I don't know, don't complain, just do it. Like, screw you, dude. How about y'all make sure it's done? I've called them out several times on that. And the excuse I would get from managers, well, they have a lot on their mind. They can't remember. If you can't remember to do your job, then quit. That's no excuse. Well, we didn't remember. Would you tell a guest that if they paid a $100 room fee to have their party ready at a certain time? Oh, we forgot. We have a lot in our mind. No, they probably want their freaking money back and go elsewhere, which, by the way, is non-refundable once you put down the down payment for a party room, whether you show up or not. Whether you show up or not, it's non-refundable. So there's been people that didn't show up and they lose $100, no refund. And so this happened a lot. One time, Trevor, the GM, was like, "Oh, and it happened to Sean too. They would have us set up a big, huge party, put all the tables together in a big U shape, and then after we get done, they say, "Oh, wait, they need to have tablecloths and linens all over them." Man, that freaking pisses us off. And we say something about it, and they're like, "Well, it's more work. It's fun." Well, at least you have something to do. Well, don't complain. Just do it. Man, and I would just call them out. Ronnie, don't get pissy. I said, I am going to get pissy because it's BS. And so we have to take the salt and pepper shakers off, the sugar caddies off, all the silverware off that we set up on there, and then put the big linens all across the tables, tuck them in where they fit, and use all the linens, tuck them in the tables, make sure they're tucked in neat and in order. Man, that pissed me off so much because they don't make sure that and sometimes the managers will laugh at us and think it was funny. And, well, sorry, man, I forgot to tell you, you got to also do this. Now,
that's what I was thinking. It kind of sounds like trolling.
Yeah, I know, right? Now, there was one time where there was an April Fool's prank that I almost fell for. And they were good managers. I liked them. It was a April Fool's show, but I didn't really fully go through it. I think they thought I would understand it was a joke anyways, April Fool's. They wanted me to put the party, all the tables in like a weird formation, and I forgot what it was, but it was weird and never been done before. But I actually kind of believed it, and I started getting started. I was getting started on it, but I was like, this ain't gonna work. I gotta tell them about this because this seems weird. This is not gonna fit. So I go in there, and they go, "Oh, wait, I'm sorry, man. That was actually April Fool's joke. You weren't supposed to do that." I was like, "Oh, well, haha. I didn't really do it anyway, but I'm glad to know that because I don't have to do it now." And so I think they did that because they didn't really think I would really fall for it, actually do it. But other than that, like the times where it was real, like they were supposed to be set up, and there were times, there was at least 2 times, man, where the parties would show up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're here for the Johnson party of 30 surprise birthday party in the Waco room," and the manager were like, "Oh." Like the previous manager forgot to book it in the computer, so the manager on duty runs up to me, "Ronnie, drop that ice bucket," because I was refilling the ice bin. "Ronnie, drop everything you're doing right now. I need you in the waiting room now, please, now." So we had to scramble and get it ready because the previous manager that took the party or did not book it in the computer so that the manager could see it on the calendar and have it ready in time. And this happened on more than one occasion up there. There was another time where another manager, "Hey Ronnie," it was a busy Sunday morning, and I was working by myself because one buster I think quit or didn't show up. I was but that's okay because I got $93 in tip share that morning, so it was good. And we were so busy, I was getting slammed hard, and and he goes, Ronnie, I need you in the pressing room right now. We got to get this party set up. They're here right now. It's supposed to be set up, and it's not. And of course, I'm pissed off already. I mean, and I go in there, and I'm trying to set the party, but the people are walking in there putting their stuff in my way, and like, well, no, it's supposed to go like this. How come this wasn't set up yet? I said, ma'am, I told him as nice as I could because I was getting ready to freaking blow up at him. I said, ma'am, this is not my fault. They did not have it set up. I'm sorry. Well, I'm not. I'm trying to help you. I said, well, ma'am, I know, but I can't. I don't know how you guys want me to do it. I mean, because they were getting in my way, putting their stuff in my way, and they're like, well, this should be set up already. And I wanted to freaking tell them, this is not my fault, ma'am. You need to talk to the stupid ass managers that we got running this place that don't make sure these parties are set up before you come in. Yeah, that stuff right there we had to deal with a lot. That really pissed off all of us busters. And that's the end of my rant, unless something else comes in my head that I forgot to mention.
Okay, well, I had something to say, but I'm not gonna say. It was gonna be tacky and cheesy, so I'm just gonna not say it. But if there's no more to say, then I would actually like to end oh, great end there, Jman, you jackass.
Way to go.
On a great job experience, and
Okay.
I'm going to talk about Steak and Shake, Ronnie, because I remember hearing you earlier, like people talking about like you being a server and stuff, and I'm one of those jackasses. But and I'm not going to talk about the learning how to balance a tray thing, whatever. Oh wait, I just did. Okay. This actually has to do with the multiple tops. There was a time that I worked there, and that place, by the way, was hectic. The system that Steak and Shake actually had set up, I don't know if it's the same anymore. This was back in 2005, so things may have changed. Probably not, but the point is that I had, I think it was like 45 people. I don't know. It was a lot. It was like a tour bus type thing, not a rock band or anything like that. It was like a coach bus, I guess you could call it. Rolled in completely unprepared. This was not announced ahead of time, and everybody helped out. The kitchen manager, the in-house manager. I'm not saying their titles right, but whatever. All the cooks, the other wait staff, everybody helped out. They were some drunk, belligerent assholes. It was a mess, but everybody jumped in. They left an envelope with it was a bit over $200. It was some weird amount. It wasn't like, just straight up $200. It was like $211 or something like that. I don't remember the exact total. I gave almost all of that money out to everybody else because they did a wonderful job. They help me serve the drinks, the food. The kitchen staff kicked ass cooking all the food. Yeah, I know it's Steak and Shake, it's burgers and fries, but still, just wonderful job. They didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
They did. Everybody pulled together, and I was rather surprised. And I think I took maybe $30 of that. I don't know. I said 211, whatever. It was a little bit over $200. I gave most of it away because they fucking deserved it.
Yeah.
They did. Pretty much everybody did the same amount of work that I did. It was this was ridiculous for Steak and Shake. This, it's not an operation that runs like Chili's or, whatever, Ponderosa, blah, 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 Saltgrass. Great job experience.
I remember cleaning up a big party in the Waco room at the Elite, and this guy that was, I guess, the main guy in the party that booked it, he gave me $20 because he saw me clean all that stuff by myself with the bus tub. And he goes, man, I see you getting all this stuff cleared up, man. Here you go. $20. I was like, oh, wow. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Right on.
So that was cool. And
That is
sometimes that's rare
a
occasion.
huge tip for a busser.
Yeah. There's rare occasions sometimes where a guest would give me some money because they see me working so hard, or someone I know might come in. There was this one woman. She would sometimes at church she would give me a big sum of money just to be nice out of the blue. This woman I went to church with, she was one of the ushers there at my old church home. She came into the Elite one day. This is back in 2004. As a matter of fact, I remember it was the morning of WrestleMania 20. I worked Sunday morning, and her and her husband came in there. And before she left, and I kid you not, she gave me $100.
And said
And I was
ECW.
EC freaking W. Man. A part of me wanted to tell her, no, you don't have to do it. But the other part of me is like, shut up and take it. But a part of me felt guilty for having to take a big sum like that from her. But she was like, and she had no, because she, came to me and I never said anything about, oh, I need money or I'm having hard times, which I wasn't. But like, it was all her. Like, yeah, here you go, sweetheart. God bless you and have a good day. And man, that was a good day. That got $100, WrestleMania 20, a good day.
Yeah, absolutely. And it would be an insult not to take it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's someone that believed in your service and that you did a very good job. And yeah.
Yeah.
If you're no, I can't accept this. If you come with that bullshit, she's gonna be like, no, take it.
Yeah.
And then it would be okay.
Yeah. Okay, if you insist. All right, so
That about does
yes.
it.
Well, was it the Last Job podcast where you talked about how you got fired from the general manager that saw you talking trash and you turned around and he told you to get out?
Yeah, I don't think I ever included that in any of the job podcasts. Okay, real quick, if I didn't before, whatever, it was like, last one was what, 5 years ago? Actually, 6 now. Okay,
Yeah.
I worked at Ponderosa in 2006. That's when I started. In early 2007, it was actually right around my birthday. Actually, it was close to Friday, the movie. Because, well, for one, I came in on my day off on Friday. I agreed to work for another dish guy. So
Yeah.
it was ridiculously busy then. I don't know why. I don't remember. I think I was just kind of like regretting like coming in for somebody else. I don't know. Once again, it was beginning of 2007. So okay, anyways. And the dishes that were coming back was ridiculous. I had another dish guy, which you call the catcher. There's the throw in the catcher. No gay jokes. Well, okay, maybe some gay jokes. All right. And he was inexperienced. He just started working there, and yeah, I don't know. Like when you work in a dish room, like it's important that you have like a good working bond with the other person you're working with. It's great to have a third dishwasher that can sort, because apparently servers don't want to do that shit, which I think they should. Okay, anyways, I'm ranting. Now then, so I'm getting pissed off. And I start cussing and stuff, and a good server buddy of mine that always tipped me out really well when I was in a SA there, and that's not SA. No, it's a service assistant, SA. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
I wish I could have done that all the time, but yeah, unfortunately that was only on the weekends. And then once again, unfortunately, it was a Friday night, and I covered for somebody. And that was retarded as well, because I don't know, maybe I was thinking, oh, I should be out there doing the SA thing, which is like a upgraded busser, whatever. The point is that I was pissed off. I was cussing. A good buddy back then, Ramon. Yeah, Ramon came back. And, hey man, keep it down. They can hear you cussing out there. And I was like, man, I don't give a fuck. I'll cuss when I want. And right then, I turn around, and there's the general manager. No, he wasn't. He was not the general manager. It was weird there because they had an assistant manager, and then they had another guy, the one that fired the fuck out of me, and then they had an actual general manager. But whatever. Okay, so I don't remember his title, but anyways, his name was Dave. And I turned around, and he was an intimidating fucker. I will not kid you. I turn around, and it's clock out and leave. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
He pwned the shit out of me. I deserved it. I mean, granted, I had just turned 18 years old, but yeah, he pwned the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was straight up. That dude had a voice, and he was an intimidating man.
Yeah.
Fuck out and leave. Okay. Okay. I'll get going right now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And there you go.
Well, okay. Let me
I can hardly hear you.
this horrible podcast on this because, well, it's a horrible job podcast, right?
I can't hardly hear you.
Yeah.
Hello?
Crap. Hello.
I can kind of hear you. You kind of sound a little muffled.
Yeah.
Jello pudding.
There we go.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, okay. I got a little too comfortable. I guess I was acting like Obama or something. Right, which is supposed to be the president. Oh, okay. My bad. I want to leave on one thing. And that's it.
There you go. Leave it on a high note. And we'll
That's
leave it
right.
on that note. And that is the end of the Horrible Job Experiences 3 podcast. We talked about doing this one for a long, long time. And man, after 5 or 6 years of not doing it, it was about 2 hours worth of storage or however long this podcast is. I think mine lasted about an hour. Yours lasted probably about an hour or two. And Bear's lasted about 5 seconds. So
Yep. No, wait. You gotta include the typing that he's done. That counts as sound, right? So
Okay, I might have one story.
We can bump up to like. Oh, okay. My bad. Go ahead.
So I was working at this place here in Canada, Original Joe's. I think I told you about that before, Jman.
Oh,
Okay.
cheater! You cheater! Okay. Anyways, go ahead, man.
The place wasn't too bad. It was just, usually I would work the day job and then go do that at about 5:30 or something like that. And one guy we had working there was just like a real hard ass. He was like the cousin of the kitchen manager. And he would be like a night supervisor kind of thing. And he would just fucking ride us all the fucking time. One
Hard.
time, he like, you could hear it out in the dining room one time where he was yelling at us because, we just put a steak on for an order that had appetizers. So it was like 10 minutes past and we just put the appetizers out, so we were just putting the steak on. He's like, where's the steak? And it's like, well, the first just went out. And he's like, just started fucking yelling at us over that. It was really bad. There was like no communication at all, kind of thing. And he would get us to pull out the grill and, wipe down the back wall there where all this grease was. We told him we can't be doing that anymore because we kept getting shocked.
yeah.
And he didn't care.
Unplug it.
That,
It's a
it's
shocking
not
experience.
electrical. That's not electrical. It's not hooked up to anything. It's just when we were wiping down the walls, it must have been like a faulty connection or something, because you could feel it right on the stainless steel thing when you're wiping it down.
Wow.
Well, they should have footed the money for an electrician to, come in there and do their fucking job, right?
If we were ever talking to someone else on the line there, or this one time I was giving pointers to this new guy, and he started calling out like a bill. Well, he was asking me some questions, and he just starts fucking yelling at him for, don't fucking say anything when I'm calling out a bill. Well, it's like, he's got to put this food up. He doesn't know what he's doing. He needs to ask questions about it.
Wow.
I think about 6 or 7 people quit during that time as a
That sounds
direct result because of him.
Are
sounds
you
like
talking
Carino.
about like an expo?
Yeah, most of the times he would expo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a very important position, and yeah, if you don't have somebody calling the orders right, there's disaster.
Yeah, the expo line is the last line of defense before that food goes out. You need to make sure it's ready and picture perfect before it gets ran out.
Well, I know, but he hardly needs to yell at us because,
Oh yeah,
then
yeah,
he has some questions.
yeah.
I
No, I'm not
agree.
taking.
Well, okay, unless he's like Ramsey, that's different.
Yeah.
That's different though.
The Elite and Carinos needed Chef Ramsay. Jeez.
Now, you know what? I told you before, and I guess I'll say it again on the podcast. Ramsey would have showed up. Actually, I think you said it, Ronnie. Ramsey would have showed up there and been like, "Oh, fuck it."
Yeah, like I'm going back to Amy's Baking Company. Forget this.
Shut down.
Yeah.
Okay. The Elite Carinos weren't that bad, but yeah, it was. I especially the Elite toward the end. I wouldn't be surprised. That would have been kind of cool if Chef Ramsay did get brought in because the Elite was in and toward the end was actually in worse shape than Carinos because at least Carinos made money. They were pretty much the victim of a bankruptcy, and they got shut down. But even though it's still bad toward the end and how they were handling things in that store, the Elite was terrible, almost like a joke. But yeah, that would have been cool. Chef Ramsay, but then again, yeah, I probably said, "Nah, forget this. Never mind. We're not going to do a show in these restaurants."
Yeah, sure. No, fuck it. Camera crew, the fuck out of here. Ah, damn
Yeah.
it. I went like English, Jewish, New Jersey,
Failish, yeah.
Christie accent there.
Yeah.
I'm fired.
Actually, I just thought about this now. The old air director we had at Carinos kind of did look like Governor Chris Christie, but a cool Chris Christie. But anyway,
Christie is cool actually. But yeah, anyways, that's yeah. We're going off topic. You don't want Matt Fan to show up, do you?
no. Well, who to show up?
Master Hand.
Oh no.
See,
We don't need anybody
exactly.
ran down their cars and all that stuff.
Exactly.
And, I mean, speaking of, I think he said that in the first job podcast, which got lost because it was in purgatory or something. I forgot, and it got lost. And the only remnants of that, I think, is the trailer that might still be up on the channel, 10 minutes of it. But for those of you who cared to hear part 2 of a Horrible Job Experience podcast, the link will be in the description box below. And that was the cool one. And Jman's story of Pizza Hut, the $20 penny thing, that's worth a listen, if nothing else.
Nothing else will ever beat that. Nothing else will ever beat that. The only thing that's possible of beating that is the picture that will show up on this podcast.
Right. Definitely. And so with that said, we are out of here. Thank you very much for listening. If anybody else has any horrible job experience they want to share, please post in the comments below if anybody's actually listening. So yeah.
Like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. What's the other ones?
We don't have Instagram.
I know it's a joke.
Tumblr.
Yeah,
Tumblr, yeah. We're tumbling on our words here because we're running out of what to say.
Lolita.com.
Melina.
No, Lolita.com. Bear knows what I'm talking about.
Huh.
All too well.
All right, so well, check out ST2K. Check out ST2K.com, and there you go. So we're out of here. I'm Ronmower.
BaerXIII.
Jman 46241.
God bless and take care.
And I'm the wee guy. Follow me on Twitch.
Lols later.
Cough.